Today we're going to have two IXL sections. They're both very simple and they're both related. IXL K1, graph inequalities, and IXL K2, write inequalities from graphs. So here are some examples of the types of problems you're going to have on K1. Graph x is greater than -6. Okay, so what I'm going to graph is what x represents. X is a number. You do not know what it is, but it is greater than -6. Okay, so here's -6 right here. All the numbers greater than -6 are this way. Okay, because over here, if you continue to the right, you have the positive numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. So all the numbers greater than -6 are to the right. Now, if it does not have a little line on the bottom, that means that it's greater than but not equal to. So you have to make sure to leave this circle empty. You don't shade it in. Alright, so that's how you would graph x greater than -6. If it would have the line on the bottom, which we'll see in a moment, that would mean that it could equal -6 and you would have to shade in the circle. But it doesn't, so I have to make sure to leave the circle empty like that. Don't shade it in. Okay, here we have x greater than or equal to 9. So here's 9 right here. Again, the numbers greater than are to the right. And by the way, to know, in case you forgot which is greater than and less than, think about it like this. The big side is always pointing towards the bigger number. Okay, so for example, I'm just putting a random number there. This is telling you that 10 is greater than 9. Okay, whatever's here, this is the big side. It's telling you this number is bigger than this number. This is the little side. Okay, and you always read it from left to right. So whatever's here is greater than 9. In this case, they're writing x. X is a number. You do not know what that number is, but it's bigger than 9. So it could be any of these numbers that are to the right of 9. Because all those numbers to the right of 9 are bigger than 9. Now, because it has this little line on the bottom, that means x could also equal 9. So x is a number. You don't know what it is, but it could be bigger than 9 or equal to 9. X is greater than or equal to 9. So whenever you have that little line on the bottom, you got to make sure to shade in this circle. Here we have x is greater than or equal to -4. So again, so far all the examples are pretty simple. Here's -4. All the numbers bigger than -4 are this way. And again, I know that it's saying x is bigger than -4 because the big side of that sign is towards the x and the little side is towards -4. So x is a number. You don't know what it is, but it's bigger than -4. Those are all the numbers to the right. Now, because it has this little line down here, that means it could also equal -4, and you have to shade inside the circle. X es un número, no se sabe lo que es ese número, pero es más grande que -4, y esta rayita abajo te dice que puede ser igual a -4. Así que X es un número, no se sabe lo que es, pero es o más grande que -4 o igual a -4. Cuando puede ser igual a este número, se tiene que colorear dentro del círculo. Si no tiene la rayita aquí abajo, quiere decir que no puede ser igual a este número y se deja el círculo sin colorear. Okay, here we have x is less than 4. Okay, so the numbers less than 4 are to the left. 3, 2, 1, 0, -1, -2. All the numbers less than 4 are this way. So you would have to shade to the left. Because it does not have the equal sign on the bottom, I leave that circle empty. This should be a review from middle school. Okay, x is less than -971. Okay, so here we have -971. All the numbers less than, they're always to the left. It's always the same way. However, you got to learn how to read that because you'll get some problems where they put x on the right and the number on the left. So always read it starting with the variable. A lot of students like to memorize that, oh, just memorize which way that's pointing. Yeah, that works if it's like that, but if they put it like this, which they will, and this means the same thing, then you're in trouble. Because this is still the right answer. Okay, so always read it starting with the variable. X is less than negative 971. Never read it starting with the number because that's going to be extremely confusing and you're not going to get it. Okay, so always read it starting with the variable. X is less than 971. So if they write it like this, which again, you will see that in your assignment, read it with the variable. Don't memorize about which side the arrow is pointing because you're going to get them wrong. Trust me. I taught middle school for many years. I promise you, I know what I'm telling you. And then you're going to message me, why am I getting this wrong? Siempre leen la inigualdad empezando con el variable, ¿ok? Porque te lo van a escribir así, al revés. Esto quiere decir lo mismo que dice aquí y la respuesta es igual. Te van a cambiar los lados, el variable te lo van a poner a la derecha. Si lo siempre se debe leer empezando con el variable. X no se sabe lo que es, pero es menos que negativo 971. Todos los números menos que negativo 971 están para la izquierda. Y como no puede ser igual, tengo que dejar el círculo sin colorear. Pero siempre léenlo empezando con el variable porque lo van a cambiar de lugar y entonces si simplemente están memorizando a qué lado está apuntando esta flecha, lo van a coger mal. Alright, here's another example. X is greater than or equal to negative 90. So X is a number, I don't know what it is, but it's bigger than negative 90 and it could be equal to negative 90. So since it could be equal to, I got to shade in the negative 90. And all the numbers bigger than are to the right. Now again, keep in mind they could also write it like this. This means the exact same thing. So get used to, you always read it starting with the variable. X, I don't know what it is, but it's bigger than or equal to negative 90. X is greater than or equal to negative 90. That is just as correct as writing it this way. They're both correct. Otra vez estoy repitiendo que se puede escribir de esta manera también. Así que acostúmbrense a leerlo empezando con el variable. X es más grande que o igual a negativo 90. La parte más grande de este signo está apuntando a el X y la parte más chiquito a negativo 90. Así que X es o más grande que o igual a negativo 90. Y ahí está la respuesta. Alright. We're going to change it up soon. I think this is the last one. X is greater than or equal to negative 643. So again, there, all the greater than, all the numbers bigger than are this way. And I got to shade inside the circle. Okay, now this is K2. Now they're giving you the graph and you got to write this type of answer. Ahora te van a dar el gráfico de la inigualdad y ustedes tienen que escribir la inigualdad. Okay, so X is a number. I don't know what it is, but it's less than 3 and it could also equal 3. So the correct answer would be written like this. X is a number. I don't know what it is, but it's less than 3 or it could equal 3. X es un número. No se sabe lo que es, pero es menos que 3 o igual a 3. Puede ser menos que 3 o igual a 3. La parte coloreado representa X. The shaded area represents X. So whatever number that we're talking about, I don't know what it is. It could be any of these, but it's less than or equal to 3. The shaded part represents X. Or let me say that better. The X represents the shaded part. The X represents the shaded part. Déjame decir eso mejor. La X representa la parte coloreada. La X representa la parte que está coloreada. Alright? By the way, they're going to give you all these little buttons here. And I forgot to mention on the previous ones, when you tap on top of the circle, it shades it or unshades it. Okay, when you tap on the previous examples from K1, when you tap on top of the circle, it either shades it, it switches it from shaded to unshaded. En la de K1, se me olvidó decir que cuando cliquean arriba del círculo, lo cambia de coloreado a no coloreado. Alright, so what inequality does this number line show? Okay, so again, the shaded region is represented by X. The shaded region is represented by X. So X is a number. We're not sure what it is, but it's greater than 3. So I'd have to pick this sign right here. Okay, la parte coloreada, X representa la parte coloreada. Así que X es un número más grande que 3. Because this is not shaded, that means it cannot equal 3. Porque el número 3 no está coloreado aquí, quiere decir que x no puede ser igual a 3, solamente más grande que 3. Okay? On this one, x is a number, I'm not sure what it is, but it's bigger than negative 2. Alright? It's bigger than negative 2. It cannot equal negative 2. Almost the same thing. X is a number greater than negative 7, and it could also equal negative 7. Hopefully you're seeing that this is really simple. That's why I put 2 of them, so we can knock them out. Okay. This one, x is greater than or equal to negative 21. X is greater than or equal to negative 21. It's bigger than, or it could also be equal to negative 21. X es un número que puede ser o más grande que negativo 21 o igual a negativo 21. Apparently all the ones they gave me when I took these pictures, these screenshots, were greater than. Okay, so here x is greater than or equal to negative 92. Okay, and that concludes today's lesson. You have 2 IXL sections to do, K1 and K2. You have to get to 100, and they're both due before 6 a.m. the next day that you have my class.